serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
The time is now. Lincoln Marathon and Half Marathon registration is now open, and prices are rising. The sooner you sign up, the less you pay. Set the goal, start training. Register now at lincolnmarathon.org. Race day is May 3rd.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through December at Landmark Implement, choose from a 12-month waiver on model year 2023 through 2025 John Deere 6 through 9 series tractors, sprayers, and combines. Or lock in a 2.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by 6.35% for another 36 months. Visit your local Landmark Implement for more details, or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Is your furnace ready for winter? Call Bryant to perform a thorough check for comfort and peace of mind. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Whatever it takes.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Downtown Lincoln Foundation. Here is your host, Derek Pearson.
It is a game day. Vegas Bowl. It is fantastic to be with you, setting you up for the pregame show, the A1 Automotive pregame show to follow in an hour. Bachman on the board, greatly appreciate you, brother, for doing what you do. 402
Jake Bachman in here with you on one-on-one. DP, I don't know if you can hear me, but we are having trouble hearing you, unfortunately. So we will have to get that reset here again, but that is fine as we're working on. Can I hear you now?
Yeah, I think you can hear me now.
Oh, still struggling to hear you there. So let's see if we can get to it. Now we can probably hear you.
Well, we'll keep trying. I don't know what it is.
I'm still having trouble, so we'll see how it goes here. As we're probably going to get DP to switch in and switch out, but DP is live from Las Vegas. So as we get bowl season or bowl games kicked off today, Iowa already on the board against Vanderbilt. Of course, Nebraska got their big bowl game in Vegas later today against Utah. We'll go ahead and take this chance to go ahead and thank our sponsors here on the show today. Today's show is sponsored by Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest quality technology and communication services since 1901. Whether it's residential or business, Hamilton has the answers. Visit hamiltontel.com for more info today. DP back in the room. Can we hear you now?
Let's hope that you can hear me now.
For some reason, we're still having trouble hearing you, DP.
I'll go back out again.
I just can't. Unfortunately, he's trying to tell me something. I can't tell what he's saying, but we will figure it out. I see some of the comments here. They say that we can hear both of them, so maybe that's just something on my end as we continue. So we'll get DP back in here as long as he's talking. That's good news. As long as you can hear him, I will figure out what is going on my end. So we'll see if he can get back in there. Thank you to everybody out there on the text line that's letting me know that at least you guys can hear him. Don't see what button I'm not. There's probably a button missing here somewhere. So we'll get Derek Pearson in back in with us, and we can get it worked out that way. But again, of course, it is a big day for Nebraska taking on Utah in the Las Vegas Bowl. We'll continue to talk about it, and I can see too on the text line that you can also hear from him on FM as well. So again, there just seems to be maybe my headphones are disconnected or something, but I could hear the music. So whatever it is, technology glitches in the way, but it happens. And again, we'll get Derek Pearson back on with us here momentarily. DP, I'll go ahead. I think it's something on my end, so they can hear you. I'll let you speak, and I'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, we got it figured out. I was hitting buttons over here to figure out what was happening here. I thought maybe Vegas had taken over, but it is it's interesting. It was an interesting night here in Vegas. There was a big, huge pep rally down on Fremont, and they put on a heck of a show. So kudos to Vegas and the folks from Bowl Committee for what they put on. This is pretty big event. Lots of red. Of course, the Utes showed up. Husker fans showed up. A lot of ticket fans were in the crowd. A lot of engagement. Pretty cool to know that what the reach is and how, of course, Nebraska fans show up. So it'll be a pretty interesting. The vibe has been pretty interesting. I talked to some Utah media folks this morning, and they have a lot of the same questions that Husker fans have. Again, this is kind of a different deal for them. Different leadership. I mean, it's brand new. They're familiar with Morgan Scalley. He knows the system. He knows where all the bells and whistles are. But when you change headsets, it changes the chemistry and it changes the communication. Having somebody that had been in that headset for as long as Kyle Whittingham was, a lot of the things that need to be done over the course of a game day week fell directly in the hands and were on the back of Kyle Whittingham. Morgan Scalley's able and capable. That's not my not their question, and nor is it mine. But how things lay out, there's a lot of talk for the Utes about what coaches are going to leave and go with Kyle Whittingham to Michigan. What changes need to be made in the staff that's returning. The players that are not going to play, and of course with the transfer portal, how many of the current Utah players are auditioning for Michigan or planning to leave in Michigan or anywhere else for that matter. So they've got questions on their side of the ball. On the Husker side of the ball, TJ Lateef is a full go. He's a full green flag. He feels healthy enough to put this thing in full blow. They'll have the full playbook for him. He'll be able to run all the bells, whistles, and gadgets. And I would imagine some gadgets show up early in today's game to kind of see what Utah's reaction and response will be, and also to get a rhythm. And a lot of the local conversation for the Huskers was on two things. One, kudos to Derek Branch getting his black shirt, which was great news for that young man and his family. Saw him last night. He that's a pretty good deal for the special teams captain, team captain, to get that honor, deservedly so. But the second part is where do our eyes go when it comes to Nebraska offensively? What the expectation is. I can tell you that from Husker fans in Las Vegas, a lot of the question is, can we let TJ Lateef go? Can we let him be fully TJ Lateef? And by that, it's the question of will he actually RPO in full? Will he be explosive with the football? Get into space? Can he create some advantages? And then, is this a breakout game? The local Husker fans were thinking Luke Lindenmeyer as the safety blanket, and when you don't know what you have elsewhere, you go to the safety blanket, and the easiest throw that TJ Lateef can make is Luke Lindenmeyer. So we expect that to help him get into rhythm and get some blood flow going. And then the explosiveness. Bach, it becomes a question of is this a game for Isaiah Hunter? Is this a Ja'Cory Barney? Is this a special teams game? We don't know what to expect of the run game. I think the team has a pretty good idea. I'm not sure that Husker fans have a real good idea about what to expect from the run game. And will it be the run game that we saw with Emmett Johnson back there? Or is it a different kind of, are we hitting different things with different types of runners? There's lots of questions there. Defensively, both sidelines they feel pretty good about the schemes. Then it becomes about individual matchups and who executes and who can't. Utah they think they have a power advantage. But listening to Nebraska defenders talk about their ability to run and be physical now, there's almost a theory of freedom, of freedom, being able to go, run, play, hit. So it's been interesting to hear the conversations again. The pep rally. I don't know how many people Fremont Street holds, but my goodness, it was packed, and the energy was great. Both bands were there. Both cheer squads were there. Players got up. Of course, Derek Branch got up and talked to the fans. He and Coach Eckler, and there's a bit of fanaticism when it comes to Coach Mike Eckler. That Husker fan base really reacted and responded when he came out last night. So it's a great vibe. Everything is in place for something good to happen here for the Huskers. Now, theory and scheme and Jimmy's and Joe's, all those things can line up. But what happens today is on a pretty big stage in an NFL stadium with lots of glitter and unicorns and Skittles falling from the sky, you got to play football. And you got to play football against some folks that Utah has some questions. They have some things that they have to find out about themselves. Who they're going to be, who's going to step up. They kind of know they've got their offensive playmakers in place. They've got some bigs up front that are on both sides of the ball that are going to be out, but they're going to stay true to who they are. And I think they are more comfortable in their identity than maybe Husker fans are in what we're going to see offensively. So it'll be some interesting some things in place. And Bach, I don't know if you had the opportunity to dive into it, but there were a lot of questions, Bach, about what the expectation was from Husker fans, and Husker fans had lots of questions. Walk through the casinos, you walk on the streets, and the Husker fans. I was dressed in Husker red yesterday, so I was easy to identify. And a lot of people came up, and again, shout out to the ticket fans who traveled to Vegas and made themselves known and available to us. But Bach, here was the question that was asked of me that I really didn't have a simple, easy answer to. Who has to be the offensive star for Nebraska today for a win to happen? And I didn't have the easy answer, of course, is quarterback, because he's going to have the ball the most. But I'm not sure it's that simple. Who's going to help him? So, Bach, I will ask you, in your mind, what player, what Nebraska offensive player, known or not known, familiar or not familiar, is going to have a day for Nebraska to get a win?
Well, it's tough to tell because, like you said, I mean, the running back position, you're kind of picking between, who. I've got just as good a guess about who would reach 100 as who's going to get the snaps, right? So it's just tough to tell there if you're going by name there. I don't know if you've heard anything. I've seen a couple rumblings about Isaiah Hunter's availability. Still kind of looking to nail down anything there. Obviously, I think he would be a guy that we've seen break out, the leading receiver for Nebraska this year. So if he's available, that would definitely be one. Ja'Cory Barney, another name, obviously, that has had a few breakout games or big time performances that I would think of. You mentioned Luke Lindenmeyer. I think that one's surprised that he wasn't more utilized with the true freshman quarterback down the stretch. With a little bit more time to kind of game plan and really, I don't want to say rebuild the offense, but kind of reshuffle what you're thinking there. I would be surprised if he's not, at least, 4 or 5 catches, 40 yards today. I mean, I would definitely try to lean into Luke Lindenmeyer. I don't know if that type of performance would necessarily be the biggest that you're kind of looking for here. But again, it's just so hard to tell. That's why you, as you mentioned, there's so many questions going into this game about the program, about the bowl system, about college football, about Nebraska, just about everywhere on the field because of these coaching changes and different people wearing different hats for this game. That's not even to mention the Utah side where their coach is off to Michigan. I mean, it is such a unique game, as every one of these bowl games feels like. But for Nebraska, man, like like you said, I think the only pick that you can make safely might be TJ Lateef at this point. But like you said, that's kind of the obvious answer, and it's not necessarily doesn't have to be. If you can get a strong ground game going, or even somewhat similar to what you had versus UCLA. Yes, he had a good game, but Emmett Johnson did a lot of that carrying. So if you can do that, or again, just hit some underneath passes and let Barney and Hunter do a lot of the work with the blocking out there, they could be the answer to the big day there. But it's tough, and that's why it's hard to because Emmett Johnson had become such an identity of this offense that it's hard to tell, like, what are they going to do without him, keeping in mind the last couple of games, even with Emmett Johnson. What are they averaging? Like 14 points in those games or something like that, 10 and 6, I guess 13 points in those games. So yeah, it's that I agree with you. I wouldn't even know, you've got a few ideas, but it's hard to say. And so it might just have to be a team effort today.
Yeah, the folks from Utah, I did a couple of radio spots for the stations in Utah, and they're, I think we landed on the fact that if Utah doesn't beat itself, it's a tough matchup for Nebraska. If Utah doesn't go out and do 100% not Utah things, then let me simplify it. Yeah, if Isaiah Hunter is out, that is one thing, but again, that's a part of the bowl game persona, is you don't know who you have. You don't know who's going to step up. You're often going to have to rely on people who you haven't relied on or otherwise. But then the question becomes which group, which sideline is more familiar with people, the productive people that are next man up. And we've heard names from Nebraska about who receivers 3, 4, 5, and 6 are. But here's the thing. Can you trust them? Can you rely on them? Will they be able to just and look, bowl games are about execution. You can get cute, you can get into all the all the schematic stuff, but it's still blocking, tackling, and running. It really is. And the problem is Utah has a better hold on that, a better feel for it than Nebraska does, at least going into this thing. Somebody asked the question earlier about how good this Utah team is, and maybe how did Husker fans feel about the point spread? Bach, I'll ask you that, because my initial response was, I don't think Husker fans are surprised by the point spread. I don't think they're disappointed or mad. Maybe mad that you're in the situation. Maybe you're mad that it could be true. Like it can actually be the thing that the appropriate point spread. But Bach, what say you on the point spread? Are you surprised by it? Are you disappointed by it? Is it too large, too small?
I think it's about right. And again, I think a lot of that isn't necessarily, I think it's just as much a statement about Utah as it is Nebraska, but I think it's also just about the matchup that we have here in the Las Vegas Bowl. It's a team that was knocking on the door of the playoffs against the 7-5 team that dropped their final 2 games. So I mean, it's somewhat just situational. Though I will say, and you're a big Utah guy, so I don't mean to offend anybody when I say this, is that I do think we put them a little bit on a pedestal. Not to say that I do think that there's a good potential that this does get or surpass that point spread, but I am wondering about Utah a little bit going into this game, simply because if it's a game in the fourth quarter with that point spread, some people would say, well, hey, maybe Nebraska did their job because the point spread and they're at least keeping it close. And if you might lose it, whatever. Kansas and Kansas State both had leads going up against Utah going into the fourth quarter in these last 2 games, and those are 5-7 teams. So I think Utah's really good. I think that I wonder what's kind of happened down the last couple of games. Now we know, opt-outs and stuff like that. This isn't going to be the exact same Utah team, but I mean, there's almost like this, up in their first 10 games, right? There's the 2 losses against Texas Tech and BYU. We know about those. Everybody else, they steamrolled, destroyed. I mean, you're talking about 40, 43 points, 45, 53-7, 55-28, 45-14. And that's a key one because that's against Cincinnati. We know Nebraska played a close one with Cincinnati. I'm just a little intrigued that they struggled down the stretch those last 2 games. Was that kind of, maybe some outside noise or inside noise about Kyle Whittingham and some pressure or something going on there? I'm not quite sure. But I do think that is something that maybe has been a little bit overlooked as we've built Utah up. And again, there's reason to build them up. They're knocking on the door of the playoffs. They've got the number 2 rushing team. So there's a lot of stats that definitely go into that category. I'm just a little intrigued that they maybe were playing with their food, if you want to put it that way, against Kansas State and Kansas.
Yeah, I thought for a moment that in the matchup, we kind of saw this matchup happening before we got to end of season. And so a lot of the discussions that were in play was, okay, what are the better matchups? And before we throw cotton candy at this Nebraska defense, they had 2 really bad defensive days. 2 bad defensive days. But wait a minute, they held UCLA to 10 points. Like they got handled by a really good playoff Texas Tech team. They held West Virginia to 14. Arizona State, who was number 20 ranked at the time, held them to 10 points. Held a really explosive BYU offensive team to 24 points. 7, they held Colorado to 7. They held Cincinnati to 14, as you said. And then they had you finished the season with a 31-21 win over Kansas. And then back-to-back wins. Of course, Nebraska fans will give them credit for beating Kansas State and Kansas back-to-back at the end of the season. You don't want to devalue that. I think the big thing for me is we know more about who Utah is going to be in the players. The coaching aspect of it is where my questions are. And not because I don't trust Morgan Scalley, it's because I trust him so much that I feel like he may make more changes than maybe he needs to. And there, again, he knows his staff. He knows who he thinks is going to stay, who's got their bags packed already. There was conversation about Jay Hill. They're some of their coordinators and group coaches. It may be a 50-50 ball on the coaches that stay and the coaches that go, and that makes for discomfort when it comes to players. That makes for distraction when it comes to players. It makes for a different rotation, maybe a different lineup, maybe a different play call in a critical situation, and those are opportunities for Nebraska to step up. Nebraska's got new coaches too, so it's kind of just this mishmash, a goulash of ingredients. It should be a good matchup. We won't know because there are things that we know. There are things that we think we know. Bach, we'll toward the break. We'll come back. When I go through some of the things that's got, this is, I did not know this, so I apologize. I didn't know that that Nebraska was 500 in bowl games. And if I asked you how many different bowl games has Nebraska been to, I'd like your answer, Bach, when we come back one-on-one live from Vegas.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket all week for coverage of Nebraska football's appearance in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl. Coverage of Nebraska football's bowl game is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, MWR Building and Fence, and Amigos Kings Classic on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Is your furnace ready for winter? Call Bryant to perform a thorough check for comfort and peace of mind. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Whatever it takes.
Looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through December at Landmark Implement, choose from a 12-month waiver on model year 2023 through 2025 John Deere 6 through 9 series tractors, sprayers, and combines. Or lock in a 2.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by 6.35% for another 36 months. Visit your local Landmark Implement for more details or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
The time is now. Lincoln Marathon and Half Marathon registration is now open, and prices are rising. The sooner you sign up, the less you pay. Set the goal, start training. Register now at lincolnmarathon.org. Race day is May 3rd.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O. When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685. and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance. Back to One-on-One with DP, sponsored by the Downtown Lincoln Foundation on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back. Bach, from Vegas, let me say there's some things that the Utah folks aren't real happy about this matchup when it comes to history. That rosiness in their cheeks goes away when you mention that Nebraska has never lost to Utah in football. So there's a whole lot of conversation. They went deep into, hey, you know that Nebraska's only 500 in bowl games. I was like, man, y'all are digging in here, bro. This thing is meaningful, which made me think, wow, this is meaningful for them. The Utes called Nebraska Blue Bloods, and I found that interesting because they don't like giving that away. So the fact that they thought of that. How many different bowls do you think Bach, do you know the answer? How many bowls the Huskers have played in?
I don't know the answer. Thankfully back in the day it was more Orange Bowl than not. So maybe it's lower than you would initially think. I'm gonna say 18.
18 is the number, Bach. Well done.
Really? Okay, wow.
18 is the number. There's some few things in it. And of course, when you get to these kind of events, there's a lot of data being exchanged between programs and fans and otherwise. And they pointed out that Utah had the number 2 choice. They were the number 2 selection when it came to bowls for the Big 12. And this is Nebraska's number 10 in the Big 10. Why are we even? And they said that's the 14.5 point spread. Is the fact that common opponents and then shared interest. And they said, well, really, from a stat standpoint, it makes sense. I didn't buy into it as much, but I understood. You're going to get an interesting group called the game. Brock Osweiler was holding court, and he'll do the color analyst work for today. And former quarterbacks talk about the game differently than us normals. Like he was deep in his bag with the schemes that could be run, his question about personnel decisions that are going to have to be made. And then he brought up that Jason Autry is going to be the lead referee. And he says that means that physicality will be allowed. And I found that interesting because I've heard Nebraska talking about defensively playing physical, up front playing physical. But that's Utah's, that's their logo. Their logo is the physicality. So I think for the old folks, the folks who like the bigs to get up there and get busy, it's going to be that kind of game. It's going to be that kind of game where the bigs, and I say it often, people get mad, but that the bigs determine the outcome. Well, I don't think that's any different today. I think whoever has the advantage defensively and offensively up front, those are going to be the teams that have the most success. Bach, another question for you. There's a beautiful little trophy that these teams are playing for today. Any idea what that trophy is named?
I have no clue.
I saw the trophy, and it's a great looking piece of jewelry, let me tell you. But the Rossi T. Raylan-Cotter Las Vegas Bowl Championship trophy, and I thought, okay, that's a name that'll do. And they said, well, yeah, but there's an MVP trophy that folks are playing for, and so it's twofold. One, the name of it is the Rich Abazian Most Valuable Player Trophy. Vegas Money does interesting things to sponsorships, bro. I'm just gonna say that some of this is just strange. Bach, and it's interesting. I'm gonna challenge you here. That one of the texters said that the defense will have to step up and win this game for Nebraska, and I don't know that that's wrong. If that happens, who is the Husker defender most likely to win the Rich Abazian MVP trophy if it's Nebraska?
Good. Yeah, I can't repeat either of those things that you just said about the trophies, but we'll just go with defensive MVP here. I think you're going to need a big day. Obviously, we know from the defensive line that's been a big talking point for the rush defense. The linebackers fit into that too, and so I mean, you've got a couple guys here that have poured their heart and soul into this Husker program. On both sides of the ball. Turner Corcoran certainly on offense as well. Javen Wright is a guy, I mean, the most Husker there's ever been of a Husker, right? I mean, 7 years in the program, among the team's leader, if not the team leader, in tackles this year. And I think that he's going to be a big part, especially with this defensive plan. And he is the team leader in tackles right now. But I think the biggest thing, as you look at Utah and they come in here, in the ground game is going to be big. They've got a couple different backs that they can go to, but it's the quarterback run. And so I don't know if he's going to get that assignment or not. Yeah, might be more Shavers, the Dylan Rogers, or whoever else they're throwing out there, Marquise Watson, Trent. But to me, that's where I look. I would start with your leading tackler in a linebacker position that's going to be huge in stopping the run. I think, and he's shown throughout his career that he can make plays outside of that. He can get an interception, he can force a fumble, that sort of thing. So in his last game as a Husker, I think he's the key on the defensive side of the ball, especially with Deshaun Singleton out.
Have we undervalued or overvalued Javen Wright's career as a Husker?
It's tough to say because I don't know where people kind of put it at, because it's just all the injuries and the health problems and stuff that they've kind of popped up. It's hard from year to year to like settle in and say this is where Javen is at on the field or kind of in our ranking system or whatever we want to say. But I think as of today, again, this year, he's going to be the leading tackler on the team for what was a top 25 defense. But then you kind of blend in the talks about, well, the defensive coordinator got fired. There's certain games. So again, it's a really hard, I think, to necessarily place. But I think there is an understanding that Nebraska is generally better with him on the field than not over the last several years. And that's going to be a question for a long time, certainly in his life, but even for Husker fans is, if he was able to string some momentum together and maybe play back-to-back years, what really could have happened. So I would say slightly probably underrated his career and his impact so far. And hopefully again, that he's able to show off in his final game and remind us that should not be the case.
Bach, what are your thoughts on giving late season black shirts?
There's all sorts of thoughts about giving black shirts, right? Should it be the starting unit? Should it be this? I mean, we had a punter get a black shirt last year. So, I think it's a good honor, especially toward the end of, like Derek Branch, like you're saying, toward the end of your career, toward the end of the season, to do something like that. It also it can be tough, right? This was not a great last end of the ride for the black shirts. So when you're handing that one out now, what does that mean throughout it? But I think the bigger thing is don't get too caught up in the tradition. Don't get if you have a chance to make a special moment for a guy that's, blood, sweat, and tears, put that into the program. Probably never envisioned himself getting that reward. I think it's a special moment. I wouldn't start handing them out freely, but even like you talk about Terrell Farley and you talk to those guys, and it was somewhat of a tradition to give the seniors that were going out, even if they weren't starters, black shirts toward the end of the season. So, I think it's a very cool moment that every Husker, especially when you're growing up wanting to be on the Husker defense, or when you first get to campus and learn about the black shirt defense, that's what you're working toward. And a lot of them are probably thinking, it's not going to happen with my position on the team. So I think those honorary black shirts are pretty cool. And then, as well as if you just kind of earn it throughout the season. I mean, I don't have a problem giving too many away. I think it's weird. I mean, everybody's got their different opinions on black shirts and at any time of the year. So I mean, I like traditionally not going overboard with it, but toward the end of the season, I like it.
Yeah, listen. I mean, Derek Branch is such an exceptional young man. that I thought maybe give it to him early in the year if he's going to be your captain and leadership and your voice and kind of one of your faces of the program, that you honor it that way. But I'm glad they finally got it right. End of season. Few stats about Utah before we get into this final segment. But Bach, that they have 3 runners above 500 yards. Now, listen, even with Emmett, Utah almost doubled Nebraska's rush game. Like, let's be clear with the numbers. This Utah offense averaged 269 yards, 270 yards rushing. That's second in the country. And listen, it's got bells and whistles, it's got tassels, it's got the whole shebang, man. They will run it down your throat, and then they'll get to the edge, and then they'll give you some misdirection. Discipline's going to matter, but those are numbers that are in place. For comparison's sake, Nebraska was 10th in the Big Ten in rushing offense. Utah's second in the country. Passing games, both of them leave a little to be desired. Nebraska with better numbers, 228 yards a game to 208 yards for Utah. Total offense, Utah's offense, 6th in the country. 478 yards of offense per game. Now, some of that can be attributed to Big 12, right? We'll discount some of that, but we can also say the numbers are still the numbers. Where they excel, third down offense. Those options, those things that they do, and giving themselves, keeping a defense off balance, being able to power game it if needed, and have a quarterback that isn't made to avoid contact, that will get the tough yard at the end of the stretch. They were 4th in the country in third down offense. So Nebraska's ability to get off the field defensively, critical. The red zone offense, that Nebraska fans, that color red matters. Utah is exceptional, 4th in the country in red zone offense. Again, those same short yardage, schemes and playmakers. That's where it shows up. So those are some things to pay attention to as you head into this thing. Bach, we'll take a break. The big part of bowl games, especially for the athletes, swag bags. Hey, Bach, I got my hands on a swag bag. I'll let you know what's in it when we come back.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One on One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket.
The time is now. Lincoln Marathon and Half Marathon registration is now open, and prices are rising. The sooner you sign up, the less you pay. Set the goal, start training. Register now at lincolnmarathon.org. Race day is May 3rd.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krekak of State Farm Insurance.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more. Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit stonebrookexterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with roof credit.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O. When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Back to One-on-One with DP. Sponsored by the Downtown Lincoln Foundation on 93.7 The Ticket.
The final segment and setting you up for the A1 Automotive pregame show. Bach, if you would, one final time, shout out those sponsors that make all of this possible.
Yeah, guys, let's shout out to Amigos and Kings Classic, Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Bleicher of PRG, Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate, and MWR Building and Fence. Thanks again to all the sponsors for helping us send you guys out there and get this coverage here from Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'm headed over to the stadium. I'm at Mandalay Bay, so I'll be right across the street. I'll check in during the pregame from the sideline at Reliant, just to kind of get a vibe and let you know what's going on in the building. There's a lot of discussion over the battles of red and who, the higher seed and the home team. Utah is the home team for this one, so getting to choose their uniform and their uniform combos and colors, a little gamesmanship there, Bach. Like, oh, would you like to wear red? No, No, how about no? So yeah, that'll play. But they're swag bags. So the football players got their own. So they got the new travel gear, shoes, etc. So all of that's exciting. But then the SRS Distribution Vegas Bowl Committee, they put together a swag bag, and in this gift bag, let me tell you, these are custom. Bach, you ready for this? Are you a shoe guy?
Yeah, I like shoes.
Custom. You can customize them, but these are the all white Air Jordan 1s.
Oh wow,
sir. Sir. You can customize them. You can put Vegas on it. You can put Huskers on it. Whatever you want to put on it. They've got all sorts of fabrics and decals that can go with it, different color laces that you can have done. They also have these hats that are custom made that you can put on whatever you want it. It's pretty amazing. The sneaker bag is top level. Thumbs up. For them putting that together. The hats are custom. You can put family names on them, jersey numbers on them. You can put anything you want on it. They give you it is a full-size Las Vegas Bowl robe.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's a robe, boss. Bach, let me tell you, you could take naps in these robes. These are some definite baller robes. This is like, okay. They didn't go cheap on it. They went top of the line with these robes. So there's going to be all sorts of Husker players with new bathrobes. They've got the new Blender sunglasses, different colors, different tints, different shapes. Those are pretty well done, I have to admit. And then that you have this you have a blanket, but they also have these pullovers, these full fluffy pullovers. So yeah, the swag bags didn't do bad. The moms and dads of Husker football are going to leave Vegas with several bags of goodies. Amongst them, these players will all have new Air Jordan 1s, the lows. They didn't go high top. They went low, but still not bad. You be sure to ask Farley whether they got Air Jordan 1s back in their run. For their bowl games, it would be pretty cool to compare. Bach, I'll ask you because I won't do it. What is your prediction, kind sir?
Well, unfortunately, I mean, I kind of went through this the other day. Is that I'd love to sit here and I'm obviously fully cheering for the Huskers and think that there are paths to get there. Unfortunately, I don't think this is a great matchup for Nebraska, and Nebraska just hasn't shown the ability over the years, and Matt Rule's far enough into his tenure now too that it goes on him to rise up and win these games. And so I think I said earlier something like 38-17. I mean, I could see it getting away from Nebraska again. At the same time, Kansas and Kansas State we're fighting right there in the fourth quarter with Utah. So don't be surprised if Nebraska is able to hang around. But unfortunately, I get the spread. I see the spread. I understand the spread. And so I think that's probably where you're at going into this game. And again, a big part of that goes to that question that you let off the show with, or we talked about in the first segment, is who is going to be the leader for Nebraska on offense? Who's going to be the one to break out? And if like you and I mean, you have trouble answering that question, then it's going to have trouble for me to have a whole lot of confidence in that pick, especially then at that point now relying on the defense, which has been run over at certain times this year, going up against a high-powered offense. Again, I just don't think it matches up well for Nebraska. So I think Utah, I have to be the bad guy here, but I think Utah probably wins this one a little bit comfortably. But I would love to be shocked. I'd love to be surprised.
Yeah, you've never shied away from heel activity. That is perfect. Yeah, right. Oh, and Bach, as soon as we're done, I've got a graphic to show you, but you have to promise to share it on social media. I'm not even gonna hint to what it is. I'm just gonna send it to you and let you marinate in it. It is its own thing. Don't go anywhere. A1 Automotive pregame show begins immediately after we end up here. Turn of the clock. 12 o'clock, 12:30 kickoff here in Las Vegas. I'm going to head over to the building and get some vibe going. Bach, let's see what Allegiant Stadium is about. 5 years old, 6 years old, effective tomorrow. So go Big Red, be kind to yourselves, have a great end to 2025, and be kind to yourself in 2026. I'll talk to you soon.
You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The